Hey, my friend. Hey, my two Korean donors. Welcome again, you subscriber, you viewer, and you curious YouTuber. Welcome to this channel of Athletics, a perspective where we play homage, we honor our athletes who perform at a higher level, even at the lower level. You never know how we look at them. But over here, we honor, we respect, we speak with admiration to those who entertain us, thrill us, and make our days, our weeks, and even now, as we look forward to our championship, it's going to be a week of festivity, seeing the best in track and field in Tokyo. Welcome, this is me, JKKC. May I introduce myself if you don't mind? You can introduce yourself anytime you want by subscribing and liking and doing all that good stuff. That's how we build a community, my friend. We build each other one subscriber at a time. Welcome aboard. So we live in an age, very interesting age, where youth is idolized. Being young, forever young, is glamorized. So that if you are in Hollywood and you show any signs of wrinkles, God forbid, show any signs of aging, God forbid, unless your name is Morgan Freeman, okay, let's just leave it at that. Unless your name is Denzel Washington and somebody else out there, what's the other guys? There's some older men get a break in Hollywood, not women. Unless, of course, you are Britain, and we've had some great ones, including the mother lady who passed away, forgot her name. She was a legend, and she's still a legend. She passed away a year ago or two. Downton Abbey lead character. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this subject up is because when it comes to the whole formation of our lives, youth, being young is idolized to a point whereby it becomes almost problematic. Because if you look really, do I envy the days I was 20s? Maybe at a certain point. I was like, yeah, I could have done better. It's always that I could have done better at a certain point. So when you get a certain stage in your life, you start to appreciate moments like this, where I'm talking about being young, and you can tell that's in the past. Let me tell you why I do this. Yesterday, or I think an episode ago, I highlighted the results from Sydney and talked of Safan Hassan, and I just pretty much almost dismissed the men's category, which was won by Ethiopian Kiros. And the reason I did that is because Eliud Kipchoge has been in decline. So we are talking of somebody who is on the side of the mountain. So he's not the hard athlete we want to talk about. But that's the problem, though. That's the problem I'm coming back to address as somebody who wants to put things in perspective. I was the first on one of my episodes last time in Olympics when he stopped in Paris at about 35 kilometers. And the last time I gave my comments about his career and how that he should not be doing this kind of racing where he doesn't finish, he has issues, it's going to taint his legacy. And so I made that opinion, and I'm looking back, I'm like, I think I'm not being respectful, and I'm being honest. Because when you think of Eliud Kipchoge, he finished, I think, top 10 last in Sydney this Saturday, and his times were still an envy of many marathoners. This guy trains at the highest level still. He still has the best coach in Patrick Sang. He's still an idol in Kenya. If you go to a gas station, I think it's Total, which is, I think, it's a French company. They've sponsored him for many years. So nobody has a bigger name or a platform in Kenya bigger than Eliud Kipchoge as an athlete. He's a brand. Nike, in Nike is a brand. So I took a very low blow on him when I saw him stop and say, man, we've seen you up here 2022 when he won the Olympics in Tokyo, went to Berlin and broke the world record, which if Kiptum is not here, then I guess the world record is still with Kipchoge, right? Let me tell you something about Kipchoge that I'm appreciating even more now because of what we're seeing, because nobody has been relevant and at the highest performance level than Eliud Kipchoge for almost 30 years. I said it, almost 3 decades. Eliud Kipchoge will go down as one of the greatest athletes in track and field and marathon and beyond ever, 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 ever. Other than Carl Lewis, people who are in Olympics, many Olympics, I'm talking of marathon. I'm talking of 10,000. I'm talking of cross country. Brutal events. And being able to be relevant and be talked about beyond even the times he has ran. Do you remember Kenenisa Bekele, the Ethiopian? Do you remember El Garouj, the Moroccan? Do you remember 2003 in Paris? Do you remember the 5K? Do you remember the final? Do you know who? Where were you when that last 50 meters was being ran? Give me a comment if you remember that. That was the best 5,000 final you can ever see in the World Championship ever. It was who has what it takes to win. It was Al Garouj, Kenenisa Bekele, and Eliud Kipchoge goes down to the wire. Wow. That is Eliud Kipchoge in 2003. We are in 2025 and the guy is still top 10 in marathon. Okay? Go back even at 2-3 years ago, Berlin world record. This guy is going LeBron James on his chest, running ridiculous time of 2 hours and breaking the world record. The guy is like this. He doesn't even know he has broken the world record. You cannot see any competition behind him. There's nothing. It's like you're seeing clouds of nothing back there, okay? Go even back to 2016 in Brazil, World Olympics. Look at all that dominance. Look at that display of superiority. Eliud Kipchoge. I need to apologize because sometimes when you look at the landscape, you look at somebody's body of work, you truly say, nobody equals this guy. He's at the top of Mount Rushmore of track and field and marathon by himself, literally. I can say this, nobody equals Eliud Kipchoge's career and performance. 11, I think, marathon wins. 11. Okay, we're talking of 11 marathon wins under his belt. And the times he was running, my word. If I look at the times Eliud Kipchoge is running in all these wins, it makes you say, who is this guy? Yes, it's Eliud Kipchoge. He's a speaker, he's a philosopher, he's a motivational speaker now, and when he speaks, I remember an interview I saw of him in Oxford, one of the YouTube, you can check it. He's giving a speech. He's talking to the best universities in the world today in an auditorium. And those that you could drop a pin. You could drop a pin. People are leaning in. People want to hear what Eliud Kipchoge is saying. Okay? You know, the thing that really drives me to even give this guy more of the space in my channel is that I don't think we respect and admire people when they're on this side of the planet. We tend to take them for granted, don't we? Even athletes, because think about it. think of Cristiano Ronaldo. He comes to Manchester United, people are like, he's washed off. You talk of Lionel Messi, he comes to MLS, which is a retirement league here in America. People are like, he's washed off. We have this obsession with youth, speed. We think it's static. In other words, it doesn't change. We don't see them as being flawed, or they are being fragile, or they are aging, or they're human beings. We just think Superman will be Superman. That's Hollywood, my friend. In athletics, there's Serena Williams at the top of their games. There's Cristiano Ronaldo when they were quick and fast. There's Lionel Messi who could go through the defenders as if nobody was there. LeBron James could dribble, and sometimes people told him to shut up. And then we have Eliud Kipchoge. We have Usain Bolt who decided to say, you know what? I don't want to be retiring because of injuries, because my body has broken down. Sometimes that's a good advice. But Eliud Kipchoge understands his body too. He's still training at the highest level. He's still relevant. He was in London. He was top 10 in London. Do you know how many people envy top 10 in this world in marathon? Do you know many marathon runners in that event? We have recreational. We have people who are drinking while running marathon. Eliud Kipchoge is still a professional athlete, even in Sydney. In fact, could I even say that this guy might decide, well, 2028 in LA might be his retirement marathon? I don't know. But I think for me, what really remains something absolutely and paramount, and is upon him as an athlete, is that he came here almost 30 years ago. He can decide when he wants to wave the game goodbye. And I think when I spoke last time in Paris, him dropping and saying he should retire in style, who am I to define style? You know, who are we to tell these athletes when to go home? Novak Djokovic, is it what's his name, the tennis player? He's still relevant. Roger Federer was here. Injuries made him retire. The body just couldn't take the exchange in tennis anymore. Nadal. Remember, injuries can force you to retire. But if your body is still delivering, there you have it. I was just saying, Eliud Kipchoge, almost 30 years, being at the top of his game in marathon. My God, we should salute this guy and say, you know what? Kenya is in a better place with him 30 years later, still being the face of marathon. Given the fact that there's a lot of question marks surrounding even these upcoming marathon runners. We have issues with some of them, and that's not my highlight today. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, Eliud Kipchoge is still the GOAT. He's still at the top of his game. Whether he's winning or participating, he draws the crowd. And Sydney was a better marathon because of Eliud Kipchoge and Sifan Hassan. These are the men and women at the top of their game in marathon. Kyrgios won, but trust me, most of the conversation was about Eliud Kipchoge. That's a fact, okay? And it remains like that because he's earned it. He's still the best among the best. So, I was just giving maybe a tribute. I kind of wrote an eulogy, wrote him off last time in Paris. And I'm looking now, I'm like, man, you cannot do that in sports. These guys still train at the highest level. Tuko Riada, my friend, maybe it was an apology episode. Maybe it was redrafting my notes. But Eliud Kipchoge, my friend, the GOAT, the only man in Mount Rushmore in track and field. Nobody else occupies that space. Talk to you later, my friend, because Tuko Riada always surprises you. But today, it was the GOAT. And love demands attention here. Talk to you later, my friend.